thank you. Great to be sharing the stage with such legendary heavyweights of the industry. Feel very honored to be up here. And also, I'm kind of between us and lunch, so you're stuck with me for a while now. But I think lunch is actually quite important. I already saw it happening during the break, and I was so proud and kind of immensely happy about it that you guys really started networking and you started talking with each other. So I'm super happy about that. Please continue to do so, and grab people by the lanyard or whatever, so to have a chat. Good. I thought I asked the team, what should I be talking about? And the idea was that, well, just selfishly just talk about what we do. And I was like, okay, interesting. It's something that I don't necessarily do that much, but I'm trying to take you on a journey on how we discovered Composable, how we got started with Composable, and then addicted. I don't know if that's a good word, but then we went all in and kind of painted ourselves in a corner, and we're not coming out of that corner. So it feels pretty good to be in that corner. So we're going to be talking about kind of how we went from early experimentation to the scaling phase where we feel that we are at the moment. And yeah, those of you who might not know who I am, I'm Mikko, I'm the CEO and one of the founders here. And yeah, it's just so amazing to be here with people who share the same passion for building better commerce. And I'll, I was just telling Matthias on the break that I do also carry these quite deep scars of working with monoliths from the. Actually, I think it was one of the first SAP Hybris implementations in Finland, so I was part of that, and still to this day carry that with me. And also experience with some WebSphere crashes and all kinds of fun stuff along the way, and then a ton of Shopify as well. So I consider Shopify a monolith, and that's what it is. So, and we've done our part in bringing also Shopify to this market, but no more. Well, let's see about it. Okay, but anyway, so anyway, we founded the company in 2019, just on the premise of there has to be a better way, right? That was the whole idea. We wanted to really and honestly, hand on heart, build a company that's on the customer side of the table. So kind of work from their commercial objectives and try to tap into those and really be there for them. Sounds very naive and kind of stupid, like that's the whole idea of a IT consultancy, right? But that wasn't what we were seeing in the market at that point of time, at least. So let's talk about a little bit about our origins. So how did all of this come about? So my wife told me this is a horrible slide, but kind of our history ends in 2023. So that's and that's when we stopped having a history. Now it's just about the future. But yeah, so we started the company together with John. John's there in the back row. And we kind of sketched it at a cabin table at John's cabin. And yeah, we had the idea that digital commerce can be built better. And after kind of years of struggling with these platforms, we really wanted to give companies the flexibility and the control that they needed. And we wanted to make commerce faster. That was a thing in the old days, at least, that sites were slow. Checkout would take 2 seconds or 13 seconds to load, and so on and so forth, and actually also kind of more enjoyable for us to work with. So that vision, it turned into IONA. It's something we still cherish, and it's visible in everything that we do today. But yeah, so there's some names that some of you might have already forgotten. They've gone into administration or folded or something. But kind of the major milestones are maybe here. So of course we get born But then the first kind of Mac success started with HMD or Nokia phones back already in 2020. So we were pretty early on with this stuff, as it turns out. And then in 21, we started working in the UK market with Alamy. And that was actually our first real commerce tools project. And of course, we got pretty deep with commerce tools, and more about that later. And then we still worked on some other stuff as well, did a lot of D2C brands, started moving into kind of more seriously to B2B manufacturing in around 2022-23, and launched our UK business, established Spearhead there in kind of 22 timeframe. And then our history ends in 23, which is where we joined the MACH Alliance, and by then it was kind of full throttle composable strategy for us. And we've been kind of on that journey executing on our composable strategy ever since. And we became premier partners with Commerce Tools, and today we are about 60 people, 60 plus ish in 3 different locations on the planet. And we're currently super happy to work with some of the most iconic Nordic brands, global brands across Northern Europe. Some of who are here in this room today. So thank you for your business. It's the budgeting season, so have to kind of. Anyway, so yeah, but what makes us kind of different? So I was struggling a bit with this slide, but I mean, we're not like this old generalist agency that kind of dabbles a bit in composable, or some IT company that recently Googled, oh wow, this is pretty cool. So it's actually the only thing we do, and we don't just talk about it, we actually do it. So we have about 10 projects with Commerce Tools, Chris, these days? Yeah. And we really want to be the best at it. So it's about mastering composable. It's not just doing it, it's about mastering it. And we really want to be the best. So this means that our teams, our focus, our tools, everything that we do, all of our partnerships are optimized for this one thing and for this one thing only. And like I said, we're pretty deep with Commerce Tools and continue to be so. We're gold partners, hoping to make that platinum, which is the highest partnership level they currently offer. Maybe they'll make a special one for us. Mirhami, like I call it. Yeah, and we're still a boutique, kind of small, but it means for our customers that every customer is a top priority customer. And yeah, we're also happy to be one of the fastest growing IT consultancies in the Nordics. So I think specialization helps. So when you kind of concentrate on one thing and you really aspire to be the best in that and you execute against that strategy, it also shows on the commercial side. Good. So some of the industries that we work in, fashion and apparel, super important for us. Omnichannel retail and wholesale as well. More and more B2B manufacturing. You know that in the Nordics we have a lot of cool B2B companies. So super excited to work with them. They have a lot of legacy, but also a lot of complexity, but so much opportunity. So it's kind of, as a Finn, my kind of, contribution, or our contribution to the Finnish economy is to actually rip out that business benefit from there. And sometimes we need to kind of go deep into the basement to rip it out from the legacy systems, but that's what we're doing. And more on the telco side, so that's also quite exciting. Yeah, our services are. This is the actual slide. So it's kind of easier to describe what we don't do. So we don't really do marketing services yet. We don't really do, branding, these sort of things. So we focus on commerce and we implement and support it. So that's it. Whew. All right, we got IONA covered. So let's move into some other things. So I kind of wanted to talk about re-platforming. We've talked about transformations and these kind of composable adoption journeys, and it's quite nerve-wracking to re-platform. We all know that, right? We've all kind of been there in the past. So changing platforms and changing technologies underneath can be quite nerve-wracking. But what if we could break that cycle for good? So what if the next re-platform you do would be the final one? And then after that, it would be just like almost organic evolution, evolving the platform. Wouldn't that be nice, right? So if we think about some sort of a dream state, we can all imagine this dream state. What if we could actually, come up with something like this? Wouldn't it be great? Kind of the point where the commerce platform doesn't need to be replaced ever again. All your business models, whether it's B2C, B2B, D2C, marketplace, would be running on the same core platform. So everything would be, you don't have to orchestrate different kind of solutions underneath. Upgrades happening continuously without you even noticing. And the whole system would scale up and down, based on business need. And you would have open APIs. No vendor lock-ins. You could throw things up, in and out as you wish. Also partners, expertise, whatever, and plug in new AI services as well. Wouldn't that be great, right? Well, guess what? This is kind of what Composable offers you, right? So it's a platform that grows with the business, not against it, and our intention is to make it the last re-platform you'll ever do. And it's just not, theoretical. So guess what? Marimekko actually nailed it. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can read it on the newspaper. So this is Tiina, their CEO, talking about it in Talouselämä. I took the liberty of translating it. That's all I did. I didn't change a word. But what she's saying is that the new composable platform they have is faster, it's more personalized, and it makes it easier to expand to new markets, languages, and features, all at lower cost. And I think it also had it has the word competitive in there, like competitive advantage. Sounds pretty good to me, right? And about 400% ROI the first year. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but there we go. Yeah. Okay, so if I were in your shoes, if you're kind of Mac curious, you're still on the, you're not really on the journey, or you're somewhere in between. My question would be, okay, where to start? Where would I start looking? And what kind of technologies, which platforms are worth looking into at the moment? And this is actually something that I advocate myself quite a bit. So this is a snapshot of what we seem to be proposing to a lot of Nordic customers at the moment. So it's a pretty solid Mac-enabled foundation for the Nordic market. And surprise, surprise, most of them are here today. So make sure to visit those booths and get a demo from Sanity, the boys are there, Commerce Tools, Constructor, Bluestone, you name it, everybody. So please just go and speak with the folks back there. And commerce wouldn't be commerce without a commerce platform. And just wanted to talk about Commerce Tools, obviously, a bit here as well. So this is how we see the commerce platform market at the moment. So this is kind of my view, one person's perspective. But if we try to place these platforms on a kind of a grid, so some of them are a bit more enterprise focused, some of them are more SMB focused, some of them are more composable, some of them are a bit more monolithic, right? So this quadrant here, where Commerce Tools is both enterprise focused and composable, it's actually a pretty lonely space. Sorry to say that, but that's how we see it. There's not a lot of alternative in that space. Of course, we have great emerging technology here, And one day, some of these guys might try to make a jump to the top right-hand corner, but that's not the situation at the moment. And doesn't seem to, there doesn't seem to be a lot of ambition to even start moving there, because it's a tough job. It's hard. It's difficult to build a platform like that and support all the needs of these enterprises. And more platforms on this side, they are adopting composable in their language. Everybody's talking about it, but in reality, we all know in our heart they are not really doing it. Great example is like Shopify's composable offering, which was like a joke basically. So honestly, commerce components, Google it up. It's just All right. And then how do the analysts see the market then? So if that's my view, like left is bad, right side good. So what the analysts are saying, well, surprise, surprise, well, they see it the same way. So they're all kind of recognizing that Commerce Tools is the clear leader for composable commerce at a scale. And yeah, so if you're now making kind of putting the bets on the roulette table, you want to build on a future platform that can last. So there we go. That was my paid. No, not really, but okay. So we, and being in this on this side of the table, building these solutions for you guys, also kind of, you don't want to work with a platform that annoys all your developers and they're going to quit on you or something, banging their head on a SAP Hybris or whatever. So Commerce Tools and the whole composable stack for us has meant that there are no limitations. We don't have to go back to the client and say like, doesn't really work. We have to abide to the rules of the platform. So that's been also quite nice and great. That was the starting point also. So how do we go about choosing the best platform? We have a model: study, specify, ship, and scale. Easy as that. Now it's more about when do we start. But before we start, you might want to do a business case. And this is actually maybe one of the toughest things in our job. Jens is nodding. Because when it comes to building a business case for a composable transformation, the truth is there's no single formula. The KPIs are different for each and every organization. And the benefits can be extremely broad. Marielle had 16 different benefits. Vincent had maybe 10 or something like that. Glenn, how many did you have? I don't know. Anyway, but you need to identify which ones make sense for your organization, prioritize those, and try to quantify them as much as possible, and try to do it beforehand. Of course, there's going to be pleasant surprises, most likely. But this is something that we do a lot. So not just for the entire composable stack, but what we try to do also, which is even harder, is for an individual piece. Because usually composable adoption is not a big bang. It's a journey that starts with one system or one component. And and of course there are certain metrics that are super kind of precious to different types of businesses. So in B2C, it might be sales per visitor, or B2B, it's just the TCO. So focusing on that and building your business case around that is super critical. Like I said, we're trying to help organizations do that. So if you're interested, we can definitely give our advice on this area, how to build a business case for composable. And finally, before lunch, I wanted to give my view into where we are headed, not just as a composable market or an industry, but also as IONA. So I was pretty surprised, or actually a bit disappointed, that Gartner places composable commerce here in the hype cycle. So we have just passed the peak of inflated expectations, and now we're kind of going slowly down to the throw of disillusionment. I was kind of hoping that we would be already here somewhere like plateau of productivity, but according to Gartner, we're still not there. For IONA, it feels that we already are. So we are seeing a lot of productivity being unlocked by composable technologies. And kind of the market is definitely, or has moved already from experimentation or kind of avant-garde builds, first movers into actually a steady pace of adoption. A lot of large enterprises are, making steady progress. Maybe it's not like big bang overnight, but still composability is moving along. Maybe it's kind of the biggest hype has now evaporated, which is extremely good thing. And kind of the agency and the partner landscape has also been reshuffled. So during the pandemic, there was a massive hype, massive demand. It also meant that some bad actors made the entrance on that stage, trying to make a quick buck. And now they kind of have disappeared, which means that, the companies that actually have a strong value proposition have continued to do good work. Yeah. So there's the market has matured. There's a lot more repeatable patterns. This means lower risk, obviously, for customers. So what do we see? When we talk with customers and from our first-hand experiences, building and designing and implementing composable commerce for customers on a global scale, is that this architecture is actually great for battling volatility. So there's a kind of unprecedented volatility and uncertainty in the market. So the leaders will be those who can actually, adopt these flexible technologies at the same time as they're battling kind of shrinking margins or, battling against, the lower trust amongst consumers or the cost of living and people having to spend a lot of money on kind of basic necessities instead of maybe, fashion. But it's a strategic answer to that, we feel. And the other thing is that productivity as a business driver is becoming more and more important because there is pressure, there's cost pressure, and that pressure sometimes might be articulated as making the teams smaller, or the teams actually having a lot more to do. So team sizes are very small. So what you need to do is you need to have high productivity, which is something that Composable actually also offers. And if you have everything behind an API, everything that the humans would do using these systems, if it's all available through an API, well, guess what? The agent can use them, right? So being API first is actually the perfect foundation for the agentic future. It just makes sense. It's the pragmatic approach. Why would you trust, a single vendor? Because now we don't know how this whole game is going to end up. This is a war zone now. You have, hundreds of billions of dollars being put into AI development. You think Steve Benioff is going to be the win? Oh, sorry, Mark Benioff is going to be spending all that money. No, he's not. So this is what we see. So kind of the trends in the market. And then if we look at what's next for IONA, in addition to lunch in 1 minute, is that we really truly, our vision is to be the composable commerce consultancy in Northern Europe. Some of our next steps is kind of, in addition to what we call kind of a no-brainer, is the agentic future. We're kind of already on that journey together with the Alliance. Is just wider omnichannel offering. We're currently exploring POS and OMS to become a stronger part of our offering in the future. Something that we're also quite excited about is our cooperation with Evolve. The guys are going to jump on stage later to talk about their approach to composable. We already have a few clients together, which is amazing. And we're trying to make composable available for everybody. So we're going to start offering these risk-free POCs. So everybody can start adopting, and very quickly. And you can do a big bang if you want. But and yeah, we're going to expand to Sweden and Denmark. That's already happening. And the big next milestone is what I'm kind of laser focused on is 10 million in turnover in 2027. So yeah, that's it from me. Thanks. Do we have questions or do we go for lunch?
No. No, I wanted to thank you for sharing IONA's journey. And I think it's clear we have an exciting future that we're building together as a team. So thank you for sharing it for the audience.
Thanks.